Hi, it's Nikki here from Energy and Emotion with Connecting Conversations. I started these conversations to really connect with people and really to connect with people who to inspire me and hopefully will inspire you as well. And I find that each person in these interviews is a bit like opening a box of treasure. I don't know what's in the person. Um, Sometimes I know the person, but this morning I don't. Robin Bela or Bella, I need to find out how she pronounces her name. We met on a women's entrepreneur page on Facebook, and she inspired me by what she does. And so I've invited her today for this interview today. And Robin is a coach. She's a healer. And she works with the divine, so with angels and with guides as well. And just reading her website, she just inspires me completely. Just amazing. She's Indian. She lives in Scotland. So that's somebody from Europe, because I've interviewed a lot of people from America as well. So I'm going to bring her on and we'll open this box of treasure. Just bringing her on now, waiting for her to connect. I'm so excited. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you and speak
You too as well.
you.
It was just introducing you and saying that these connecting conversations is like opening a box of treasure. I never know, what's inside the person.
Yes.
And I'm open to wait in this box of treasure because just reading your website is just amazing.
Thank you for inviting me, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a great conversation.
Well, the internet is a little bit slow.
Yours. Yes, I did notice the internet was a bit slow. Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we crossed on the women's entrepreneur page, and I know just something about you just inspired me by what you do with the coaching and the healing and working with divine. It's just completely, love it.
Well, thank you. I love what you do as well. I can see some of your paintings there.
Yes.
I know what you're doing as well, and I love what you do. So yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I know that we don't know each other, so I just felt the way we connected was perfect. Yeah.
I just felt it completely. Yeah. So, I mean, tell everybody about what you do, where you are now, and how you.
Yes. It's been a journey, because when I started 15 years ago, my journey was as an energy healer first, because I had a knee injury and I wanted to heal myself, and I wasn't finding any, the usual medicine wasn't helping my recovery fully. So I went into that field, and then I realized that's my purpose. I need to be in there, and I was in the corporate field before. I was in marketing, advertising, and so it was a very big shift for me to jump from that to this. And it was a brave step for me, and I did it. And I know that if I hadn't, I would have felt suffocated, and I wanted to follow my heart. So that's where I began. And I was there for some years doing that, and I loved doing that. Still love doing it, but it's just that I'm doing many other things now. And I had a journey where from there to life coaching, and it's natural for, to help and support people to make changes in their lives. So that's where I went towards. And there I noticed a lot of people who were working with me or taking my certifications wanted to set up their own businesses as well. So that's when I started helping them for their holistic businesses. And so from there, I now have a slightly different approach to things, because I went into situations in life where I deeply, for me, that space of connection to higher realm was very important for me to where I am now, because now my focus is to help people to find the place in life where they can manifest at ease their lives because there's higher support. And I help businesses and entrepreneurs as well now to get into this flow of connection so that their mindset is of success and they are not overwhelmed with all that's going on around right now with coronavirus and things.
Yeah.
So strangely, I created this program just a few months ago just to start doing this. And I had no idea about this was going to start as well, coronavirus. So I've just been following what I'm led to, and I stopped doing things that I've probably become known for just because I know now my calling is this. And I just cannot stay in a box where I'm meant to do something, and even if it's working, like even my previous job. so I just going with the flow.
I know, it's so funny you said that. Oh my God, all these like aha moments are coming off as you're speaking, the whole thing. And so many people said to me, Nikki, just stick to one thing, just keep going with that. But then you just get this intuitive guidance thinking, okay, Nikki, you need to go this way now. Oh, okay, I'll go along this way. And then you realize everything anyway that you've learned along that journey, it's all coming into right where you are now. And it's totally that. You just really have to flow and just go with where you're guided.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so important. If we don't follow that flow, we remain small in our potential. We remain small in our satisfaction inside. Like we just feel like empty glass, We feel like we're not really doing what we really want to do. Why? Because we are afraid of the new, afraid of the change, afraid to think big. And sometimes we wonder, if nobody else has done it, how can we do it? Or people latch on to security. And look at this time on the planet. Jobs that give security is no more secure.
Exactly. I say to so many people, what do you want security for? Security does no longer exist. That is gone.
God.
And
Absolutely.
it's really time to everybody is at this crossroads. So many people I've met, they're like, oh my goodness, now where do I go? And new opportunities are opening up to them, and they're realizing that they're beginning to see the world in such a different way. And it's freeing people up this moment now that everything is on pause to really go inside and find out what their real dream is.
Yeah, it's a very big awakening going on for the people on a mass level. And I think it's very historic in terms of not just what's going on in the world, but in a conscious level. And it's like God just saying, it's time to do what you want to do now.
Yeah. And that's the amazing thing, because many people didn't know what they wanted to do. So many people have gone on with it, the way of security.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in France, they pay everything to keep you, in the box, in the way. And all obviously that's all fallen by the wayside. And it's people that sort of begin to wake up thinking, okay, what do I want to do?
Yeah. And that's frustrating place to be in for many.
Yes.
And I feel like they just want to do it, but they don't like change as well, right? People like the comfort and that things are going to just definitely I'm going to have this much income, or definitely I'm doing these things today. People don't know what to do with time, don't know what to do with their ideas. And also those who are working with things already in their own businesses, I'm seeing them struggle with what's going on, because it's like if your mindset is not high, that you are going to just do what you want to do, then whatever around is going on will grab you at some point and make you go down. So when we keep our source for our abundance, happiness as something outside of us. And that's when we are weak, actually. That's when we lose our power.
Yeah.
And we need to place it in the higher, self, the God, the energy of that element we need to focus on. And for me, that's been always the case. That's where my resources, I just follow, what I need to.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you're doing that because you're doing what you love doing. So this concept of doing this from a space of inner calling, then nothing worries you that outside will change.
Totally. Yeah.
So
exactly that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, just as you were speaking, I had this vision of a baby chick hatching, which I really think is so what's happening right now.
I love that.
And when this chick is in the egg, everything's provided for it. It has the food, it has the nourishment, the shelter.
Yeah.
And just as people, are waking up now, people are coming out of the shell that was warm and protected, and like looking around thinking, oh my God, I've got all this opportunity in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really scary, really scary. And all you can think about, is putting one little chicken foot in front of the other.
Yeah. It should be actually exciting and not scary. Once people stop dipping into that potential place that, let's try this. It's a great opportunity for people to try. And yes, those who are businesses, they are already doing something. Maybe it's an opportunity to do things differently, maybe go virtual, and they'll find life is so much easier. Sometimes.
Yes. That very thing, just be able to work from home.
Yeah.
And just do as we want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the people who know what we want, we're changing the way.
Yeah. I think it's a mindset, isn't it? How we think. And sometimes some people follow that doom and gloom thought pattern, and they start seeing that more and more because of that. So how we put our minds every morning, like with the thoughts that we put in there, is so important. And in the end, for me, I'm not worried about what's going on around. I'm more focused on that. Am I tuning into the full energy of the higher realm, God, every day, and giving my problems to God, so that I can actually just focus on enjoying my day and not worrying.
It just frees you up totally.
So that's what I love sharing, because a lot of times people block the manifestation with that process, with the mindset. And businesses don't do well because of that. People's well-being is dependent on the mindset as well. And fear is, something that actually is just an illusion. If we focus our minds to the good things, it starts shifting.
Yes, yeah. And I think you're so on. You're right on track, as we always are. Nothing's by chance. And I think obviously with the holistic business coaching, and the fact even now in that business coaching up to now and running a business is all about, being about attaining goals, of getting there. And now it really is. People really have to get into the mind now that success is all here. It's all in the mind. It is the mindset. It's what we focus on. It, as you say, is giving up everything that's not serving us, so we have the space to move forward.
Yes, I think the part of the process of giving up what's not working, sometimes people are used to controlling. Like, I need to be in control of what's going to happen, what I'm going to do, and I know what works. And now you're asked to be flexible. And now you're asked to live in uncertainty. And you're asked to live also in a place of joy still and surrender. So the logic mind says, how do I do that when I don't have the end results confirmed that this is what I'm going to succeed in? So that's the part of natural flow of manifestation anyways, that we are not meant to know the results, but we are in the place of joy always and peace inside, because we have firm trust and faith
Internet is slow.
The universe is supporting us.
Yeah.
And when we get into the place of fear, for me, I can hear. So the flow of manifestation works well when we are allowing ourselves to be in a place of joy and peace. That's the most important thing. And if you're catching yourself in a place of worry, you're naturally not going to manifest anything from there. So if you're in that place of fear, whatever your work to do the whole day is, just drop everything and get to connect to your inner self and find that inner peace and find that joy inside. Because if you're going to function and do things for your work from that space, you're naturally going to then manifest success. Okay. So people miss that part of the inner process, and they don't count the spirituality is important and connection to God. If people are open to it, it is where everything is really, where people can find so much, whatever you want to call God, as source, if you don't really want to call God, but it helps you open to miracles. And I, for many years, was doing coaching and things, but not in my work. And I had written a book called Break the Pattern. And there I was writing about God, and so I would put God/universe/source because I was still not fully saying God there. And I say that, okay, if you're a beginner, start from there, from source, but eventually if you can move towards the energy of God, miracles and manifestations are for you. And that's where things when it was so hard for me in my life and nothing was working, and no meditation techniques for years, all my amazing energy healing and life coaching techniques. And in the end, I had to kneel down and pray. And that week when I prayed, I was like, I'm surrendering. I'm not going to worry about how things are going to work out. I just want to be in peace right now. And there were situations which were not kind of threatening me in a way at that point. And within that week, I forgot about that. I was sitting in peace. And I was just so enjoying that blissful place of love and peace, because I was just really in tune in that space. I remember that week, there's a post, I put a post on Facebook. It was some few years ago now. And it went viral, and I had 2,000 friend requests on that day in 1 or 2 days. Yeah. So I was doing things without asking, and manifestations were opening, and things that were threatening me also moved away, and the people involved, and naturally over time. But all things shifted because my fear had disappeared, and I wasn't controlling. I was in complete surrender. And I was following what was God's will. And I had connected probably the first time to God properly, even though I was calling myself spiritual and doing energy healing. A lot of people who are in that new age field say that they are connected to God and we call on and pray. But there's a difference when you completely surrender the control,
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, what took you to pray at that first moment? What changed your mind? What took you there?
The situations in my life were such that wherever I was going, there was a dead end. There was, I had no way or escape from my trauma, or you can say emotional pain, from a situation where there were some people trying to attack or harm me in sense psychologically, or they were just trying to create problems for me for 2 years. And they were not moving. I had to move home for that, and it didn't help as well. So no matter what I did, no matter how much authority I was going to go for help, nothing was changed because I had no proof about things. And my peace of mind was so essential. My work was dependent on that. So there's so much stamina you can build, and I have a lot of stamina. So I could go on for 2 years like that. So, but then there's a limit, isn't it? And then I realized I needed to that's the moment when I said, I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. All I have to do is just sit here and figure out what. And in my mind, all I could do was find peace. There's nothing I can do.
Yes.
That was a part of surrender. And that moment that, I think I started praying, and I just kept saying, God's love is shining in me. God's peace is shining in me repeatedly for like literally a week, pretty much all day, like, with breaks, of course, but literally all day. And I was just sitting, and I was at some point I forgot what was the problem. And I was so enjoying that peace because after so long I was feeling it, and it was so blissful. And there was peace for no reason. There was no outer goal manifested, no change. And that's when I realized this gift of peace and love, everybody can find it.
Yes.
It's within us.
Yeah.
But we think that we need to change something outside,
Exactly.
get a goal, achieve a goal, and then we'll find it.
And it's not everything is from within.
It is. And we're born that way. We were born happy and peaceful.
I always say, we were born in love, but we're born complete with everything. And that stays with us. That's the core of us all the way through. And then we just get everything else on top of us. And it's just getting back to that core center that we were born in.
To the core is the whole, I think, everybody's purpose, to go and find back that joy inside.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. To me, at the end of the day, this is our complete mission on life. You start at the end point, and then you go through the whole of life, and then you're going back to get back to the place where you started.
That's right.
And through that, it's completely crazy when you think about it, but through that process, that's where you really grow and you learn, and it's an amazing journey. And it's funny because I remember one part, I went through a very difficult part in my life. And financially, it was just like, it was too much at one point. And I remember I just stopped the car and I just thought, please help me. I can't do this anymore. And I closed my eyes, and this vision of handlebars came up from a bicycle. And the voice saying to me, Nikki, let go of the handlebars. Wait, you just pedal. You enjoy
That's a surrender moment.
Look, Nikki, you're trying to go left and we're trying to go right, and that's going to make you just fall off your bike. So let go of the handlebars. Okay, I get it. Okay, here we go then. I let go. And then from that moment on, that's when things started, because you just really enjoying the ride. It's like, woohoo!
That's it. Oh, that's a lovely experience.
Yeah.
But these moments, we come to a point of like, how much can you go on, and we have to surrender.
Yeah.
So it's all about how long it takes to get to that surrender. So I'm hoping you don't have that much stamina as me.
We all have that point there when you hit the wall and you think, no, not again.
Yeah, but that people think that's strength, actually, that you can do it, to control, and we're taught in the society that we need to learn to juggle. You see these movies where the actor or actress is trying to do 10 things in one go, and in their daily lives, and they think, oh, that's pretty cool, she can do everything. But that's not what we are wanting to do. We're wanting to do, not manage things. We want to do things out of joy, and actually have, not out of tired space, from a nurtured space. And then you're just enjoying. Just your focus of the day is just, my most important prayer is just that, God, take my problems, and so I can forget about it, if there is any. And usually I don't like to call them problems as well now.
No.
Because everything gets fixed anyway. So it's like, how do I find my joy and peace today? That's my main focus. And that too, I don't have to bring it inside me. I just say prayer and God will bring it to me, because that unconditional love source I realized from that initial experience I had that he'll just give it to me if I ask.
Yeah.
So
just ask and it will be given.
yeah. So you can be surrounded by a war zone and still find peace inside if you're with God.
Yeah.
So
it's totally that. I remember hearing something about somebody from the the camps in the war, the Jewish camps. I can't remember the names of them now. Concentration camps.
Oh yeah.
And one of the survivors said that he realized he had a choice. There's everything going on around him. He could not control that. The only thing he controlled was his mind, and to find that within himself.
That's beautiful.
And I think that it's such a good example. And I always say to people, look, we always have a choice. We always have the choice, and at the end of the day, that choice is how we feel about the situation.
Yeah.
And how we get through it.
And if you don't make that choice, then it gets worse. That pain, what you're going through, the fears, and how I think for me, I don't want to feel that so much. If something's coming, I straight away give it to God and say, right, you're in charge. Like you say, you're in charge. So
sure.
I'm just hands-free sitting back. So literally, I that's what I say. God, show me what you want me to say today, do today, be right today, and move today, whatever. I'm not thinking what, but you're guiding me, and also how I'm going to get something which I'm not yet sure of, some answer I need for my work or something. I that too let it go in that place of surrender, and then my mind is actually more creative because it's not weighed down by worries.
Yes. Yeah.
So it actually, then everything starts just flowing naturally. Worries is just like these little stones in this river, and the flow of the river is slow because of these big bold rocks probably there. So we need to just let it flow, not put these things in between all the time.
And you just say about the river, it's always been my thing about saying, just to be like a stick on the river. You just let go and go with it, and the river will guide you. And
that's it.
You don't know which beach you're going to end up at, but you're going to end up somewhere and it's going to be the right place for you.
That's it. There is something about this finding your own path, isn't it? Yeah. And people don't let go the control. They want to stay fixed in what is the usual path because they're used to it. They feel safe. Yeah. But sometimes the unknown is the creative space. And of course, you're an artist, so you will know more about creative space. By the way, my mother is an artist as well, so I understand the mindset about that. So I always admire that.
But it's so funny because you're just saying about it, and I'm an intuitive artist, so it's exactly what we're talking about. That when I arrive at the canvas, I have no idea where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to paint. I don't know what the journey is going to be. I just get painting, and it's, to me, that there's so many correlations with how I paint and with life, and the fact that I paint in layers, and the mistakes, or there is no mistakes when we paint in this way. It becomes like the texture of the life, and it creates a complete canvas in the end. And because I'm painting on top, your mind just completely lets go.
Yeah,
completely. And as you say, you just completely, you're in that place where you're so guided. You just go with it completely in the flow.
That's a beautiful space. I think that's you're in touch with your divine at that point.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
It's really, and I think that the more I've done it, because obviously at the start I wasn't, my paintings are much more structured. And as you begin to trust and you go, more and more into that place where you're just going to be guided through it. It's like a muscle.
Yeah.
The more you go there, the easier it gets.
I really like that. It's like people think that you have to focus on your body, to exercise, but our minds need that a bit of the creative muscles need a bit of movement as well, not just it needs a bit of nurturing. And that's why I always focus on this deep connection through meditation, and help yourself to forget about your problems and relax. And prayer is so powerful, of course. And so if people can't paint, do something, right? But I'm sure everybody can paint. It's just that I'm pretty sure it won't be something I would show you in the world probably. But
but this is it, I think to people, okay, you sing in the shower, but you don't have to be, the famous pop star. You dance at a wedding, but you're not the famous dancer. That's the same too with painting. When you're a child, everybody picks up a pen or pencil. Nobody says, I can't do it. They just do it. And it's getting back into that space of the inner child and just let him run with it.
Yeah, I love that.
We can all paint. We can all pick up, I'm thinking in French, a pencil, a brush, and put it in the paint.
No, so you do oil painting, is it? Mostly?
I'm acrylic paint, but I use essential oils in my paint.
Yeah, I could see some whatever I can see from here. So
yeah, because I use with essential oils I put in to really get the emotions going, and obviously get the smell as well. But and I've realized there's so many correlations between the painting, between life, between language learning. There's so much in it.
I suppose you're able to connect to your divine and show in there very beautifully. I think everybody has something to show to the world, but they need to dive into that deep creative space first. And whether you have a book in you, or whether you're meant to design clothes, or you're meant to do something that is nobody has done. And people always think that they have to know where it's going to lead to before they even start. So you want to do it out of joy. And that's where it goes to the right place. And I think the more we allow ourselves to free ourselves, that's important, that we move. And interestingly, I always talk about this, as some hundreds of years ago, there's no concept of salary as well at that time. People used to just go, maybe many years ago, when people used to just go out, go buy they would just go hunt their food and come back and not worry that tomorrow they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And so we're not saying you need to live by that amount, that every day is enough, but it's about your mindset is again about that. So whether you want to survive or you want to thrive. And so what we put our minds to, that starts happening. And when we create our beautiful painting, we have to start from the beginning, and we can't be perfect.
No, and it's part of it. Part of not being perfect is the whole thing of creativity. And that's where we really come into our heart.
Yeah. And I think we're all meant to be creative beings. Otherwise, we feel dead inside. Whether we are actually doing a business where there's no, creative stuff like we're talking about, but even there you have creativity, the way you write things or say things, present things. And your mind still needs creative juice there. It still needs the inner, that nurturing space and connection and mindset. Of course, mindset even more if you're really business focused, that results is the only thing. For that too, you have to come from a joyful place rather than fear place. I've got to make this happen.
Yeah, and that's it. If you come from fear, it never works.
No,
you're running away.
I mean, I have done my work, when I was leaving my job. I remember my family was saying, are you sure you want to do this? And I remember finding a letter years later saying, from my mother saying, can you not get a job? Because people think that's security. And so that was obviously a long time ago. Now they love what I do. But what I'm trying to say is, this is the way people think. that it's not about the joy first, it's about the other things first.
Yes, yeah.
And so if you want to be feeling alive inside, you want to connect to your joy space, then you can last long wherever you are working, and if for somebody else or yourself, you know. I don't think you can last long if you don't have that joy inside to create
No.
something.
So how do you get people who are in that way, who've, you know, are obviously into the security side and so frightened of letting go of that security and stepping out into going into their heart?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get them there?
That's a very good question. You know, that's the process of following your purpose. And when you're in a place of fear, you cannot think about your purpose.
No.
So you probably are in a space of mindset where you're just wishing, but you're like, oh no, I'm not going to think about that, you know? But there could be a place of some people who are in that space. I don't know how to let this go because I'm scared to let it go, but I am suffocated here because I really want to do this. So I was in that space. It's easier to jump there, from there, take the first courageous step. Now, at that point, I wasn't so connected to God the way I am. So if I was now, I would have prayed to God to show me, take my fears away, first of all, because you cannot operate from a fearful mind, and you have to be in a creative space, and you're sitting under fear and, you know, the stress about making things happen. Otherwise, you've lost your, you know, it's like the doom and gloom story is always first, you know, and you're not even thinking about enjoying it. So we have to learn on a collective basis, on a mass level, to stop worrying. This is habit of worrying is killing the joy in the creative process and killing the process of connecting to a purpose. And there is no logical step available in anywhere in coaching, therapy, or anywhere that'll eradicate your doubts. So if you're waiting some goal to be achieved and find the peace and joy, that's not going to happen ever. So you will be chasing that always. So you have to find the peace and joy first. And for me, that's only through God, which He gives it unconditionally. You just pray. And those who have never done it obviously think that this is a miracle. Are you sure this is going to happen? So you try. I was not trying for so long, that total surrender. And once we do, and we say, God, show me the way. This is my fears. I really want to do this. What's my way? Show me the way. And once you put everything and you say, give me your joy and peace now, I know I have full faith that you're taking care of what I've asked you to take care of. And that's where you go back to peace. Now you can relax. Now He's in charge in the bike.
Yeah.
So, so now you make sure you sit behind and not go in front with your worry mind. That's the problem. That's the part where I work with a lot of my clients all the time, because it's so easy to go back there. And it's a mind that's so used to being there, that control, you know, I need to know what's going to happen. And if you're not in control, you feel like you're falling out from a plane without your parachute.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it feels. Like, what? I'm just going to go down, and are you telling me I'm going to be okay? Because God's taking care.
There's a film. Oh my goodness, my memory. Divergent, I think it is. I know it's Divergent in French. It's the same in English, where there's a scene where everybody's in this train and they have to jump.
Oh.
And they have to jump into the space. And the first one jumps, who's obviously the star of the film. She jumps, and in actual fact, there's this black net that catches her, and it catches them, and it's really just having faith in the jump. And I thought that was so poignant, because you know, for me, God, or you know, the spiritual connection, whatever you want to call it, it's this net. With this net, you know, you can do whatever you want. You jump, you fall, and you know it's going to catch you.
Yeah, I love that story. So this is it, you know, it's like when we are following God's will, and that's when we have the highest happiness and success. That is the way it is. People want to control and have a tired journey of going towards success. They can, because it is tiring to control all the time. And so once we can relax, we move with ease towards where we're going, and we know the net's always down.
Yeah.
And because we don't think the net's down, that's how we keep controlling and working so hard. And that's how we hold on to fears and don't take the first step towards that creative space.
And the more you jump, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And the more you really realize, I'm like, oh, yes, the net is there.
Yeah. We have more faith, isn't it? Then it's like, you're keeping the faith. So it's sometimes people think faith is more like not so much about it's going to happen. You're just saying it to make yourself feel good. It's not the other. It's actually true strength. That our mind is knowing that truth, that when we focus on something, we move towards that. But if you put the doubts, we don't move towards that.
No.
So when we are focusing there and we're asking God's support, we are going to move there. So the river will flow in the same direction unless you're going to put your rocks and then boulders.
It's the same, but when you start struggling, you start panicking. That's when you sink. Every time, if you just lay back in the water, you float.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? If you relax, you will float.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful example there.
It's like, oh my God, and that's when every time.
Because it's natural to float, but our fear keeps us not floating in the beginning when you're learning to swim. So I love that.
So I have two questions I always ask everybody in this. The first is, what is emotion for you? Because I work a lot with emotions. And the second is, do you have a big dream?
Ah.
Yeah. I'll just let my cat out 1 minute.
Sure, yeah.
So, yes.
So, what is emotion for me?
Yes. And how does that work in your business?
For me, I think the emotion that I tap into every day is joy. So that's the most important emotion for me. So for me, emotion is very important for business. If I'm not tapped into this excitement and joyful space and peaceful mind, then I am in trouble. Because it's like brushing my teeth. So I have to get up in the morning and get into that mind space, give my problems, anything that is worrying, and I give it. And then I'm just sitting, a lot of times people pray thinking that I have to give all my problems. And then after 1 hour, they're like, oh God, you're not helping me. God, please talk about the same problems again. That's not how faith works. Faith works, you've given your problems, you forget about it. And so my job is to check, is there anything that in my mind that's bothering me? If it is, give it to God. And things that I want to do, I give it to God as well, that I am going to do them all through your will, how you want me to do and everything. So I'm relaxed like a playful child in the creative space where I'm just doing my dance, whatever I need to do today.
Happy dance.
Happy dancer. So I'm trying to, the more I can be in that space of creative space, not like I'm dancing, but I'll be probably sitting and doing something on the computer, but I'm in a joyful and happy space and no worry.
Yeah.
And for me, tapping into that emotion is so important. If we don't have that emotion, then we are lifeless. We are worried, of course, and we're trying to act happy, trying to make the day work. Like, okay, come on, I can do this, and find my mojo and push myself. And that's how a lot of people operate, from that space. And that is where they are controlling, and they are not in alignment to the divine, and not tapped into that space of unconditional peace and joy inside. So emotion is very important for that, for me.
That's wonderful. You're so inspiring. I can listen to you forever.
Thank you. You're too kind.
No, I'm being truthful.
It's a pleasure pleasure to talk to you because you're asking me a wonderful question. So
Well, I
yeah.
think it's so important, when you ask questions, it just opens people up as well and gets the nuggets out. So what is your big dream then? Do you have a big dream?
My dream has changed over the years as my connection to God and everything started shifting. So for me right now, my biggest goal is that, yes, I am myself living in that joyful and peaceful and that space, but I want to show many people the same thing, how to do that. And I want to, I feel suffocated seeing people not tapped into that.
Yeah.
That it's like, hey, there's a way here to have that unconditional joy and peace and not suffocate there. Whether you're in a job and you want to do that, but do it from a joyful place and not struggle. So my purpose has, since that situation had happened, after that, a year later, I started a free online seminars called Miracles with the Divine. And I do them fortnightly, like every 2 weeks. And there I'm just sharing about this God energy. And I just wanted to share more and more to the world. So it is still a membership site as well, which is not much, like only about £7.99 or something. But I also offer free replay for 3 days. A lot of people can listen to for free. So I wanted to share this to the world. So I started that, and it's the 3rd year I'm doing it. And if people connect to the member site, they'll see all the seminars I've done for 3 years almost now. And it starts from the basic, how do you begin this whole process of connection.
Fantastic.
And this beginning of this year, I started this program to support entrepreneurs with the mindset. And I had no clue that COVID was going to happen. And I was just thinking, wow, this is what people need right now.
Yeah.
And in their businesses right now. So that's where I was led to sharing that. So my dream is just to be of service and follow my purpose to what God wants me to do. And I thought initially that's all I wanted to do the seminars. And now I'm doing this as well. So I have a program called Divine Success Manifestation Accelerator, which is a mouthful, but it is but it is something I'm very passionate about as well, because what I use for my business success, I'm sharing it there to those who are wanting that mindset to flow in that space so that they can create success for their businesses. So my passion is that everybody should have that connection to that peace and joy inside and do what they want and live what they want. And that's my dream, to share more and more and enjoy sharing it.
And that is totally it, because I think once you've got that, once you've found God and once you've found that peace, everything else just flows.
Yeah.
It's where everything starts.
Yeah. It's like a nectar. It's just so delightfully nice space to be. And then you just enjoy sharing, and then it becomes like it's like heaven. You can keep spreading more and more and more and more. Every day is more, and enjoying it. And also you're learning, because if you're first time tapping into it, you're learning how you can just stop controlling. And this is actually the biggest test on a mass level for everybody.
Yeah, completely.
Things around us scaring us. Can you stay in a place of joy and peace inside?
Yeah, I think,
So this is so much more needed now. And I think, so I'm not got anything bigger than this right now, but this is where I'm enjoying right now. So I'm just being led where I'm meant to go next. So
and I think this is why as I said, I went through all those names and I only picked out 4, and you're one of them. And this is why I love doing these connected conversations, because it's really helping you to get a wider audience as well. We're connecting, you're talking about what you do, and I can share that to my podcast, etc. And and get it out to more people. And I think we all just want this world to be a better place.
Yeah. I think what you're doing is, a very big purpose in a way as well. Like you're sharing and creating the platform, which is
Yeah,
so
yeah,
beautiful. And to have this kind of, very relaxed, creative conversation.
yeah,
It's,
yeah,
so yeah, and we need more of this so people can
completely.
really talk from what really matters in the soul. And sometimes I'm doing interviews where it's all about business concepts or life coaching concepts, and and I'm more and more praying as well to find people who are talking the way we are, because I want to
Yeah.
talk more about this nectar.
It's like nectar just flows into everything, just like leaving your state, just like, oh.
Oh yeah.
But this is why, this is why I just keep it so informal as a conversation, because, you just open up and you just become the person you really are, and people really connect to your vibration and your energy. And even that is a nectar as well for me. The vibration, the energy, that's the true nectar that just flows into everyone, and everyone feels it and senses it.
Yeah. And I think we just have to be ourselves. Love is within all of us, and
Yeah,
it is available for everybody to tap into. And we need to just allow ourselves to be loving and joyful and peaceful. So yeah.
wow. So before we end, do you want to give people where they can find you?
Sure. My website is robinbela.com. So it's ROBINBELA. So you can join my newsletter from there, which takes you to my free seminars. And if you want to do that business side of things with me, you're welcome to have a chat. Just drop me an email from the contact page on the website. I can schedule a time to speak then for that. So I have a program specially designed for that. But yeah, so I'm hoping that our conversation is giving a lot to people and in itself. And it's it's been a great conversation for me to be here with you as well. So
Complete
thank you for
inspiration.
inviting me.
And I will share as well with the video and everything. Whatever I do, I put your website on there so people can go back and click onto you.
Great, thank you.
So stay on, because I've got to chat after you. I'm just going to stop recording now. So Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.